today we're gonna talk about SoCat, right? Which is our special guest. Some of you may or may not be familiar, but lucky for you, we'll get to dive into his creative mind and talk about like the choices that kind of led him to this place now, right? And so before I do, take the time to think of somebody in your life that can benefit from this space, from a conversation between artists, you know, and what it means to be a creative, what it takes to be a creative, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are, you know, on the fence whether or not they're going to go full time with this or go all out, because it is a risk at the end of the day, and it's very hard, you know, to make it in this space. So if you have somebody in mind that, you know, can really benefit from this conversation, go ahead and take the time to retweet this, send it out, send the link out, and get them into the space. All right.
Yeah, and also I just left a comment too that if you have a question but you don't feel comfortable speaking, you can always just like write it as a reply, and we'll get to it as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's get into it, man. SoCat, I've been fortunate enough to know you for like the past 2.5, maybe going on to 3 weeks now, but it's honestly felt like I've known you my whole life, bro. You have really great energy, and I'm just very excited to have you kind of share your story about a little bit, and I will be diving into your mind a bit, pull some stuff out of you for the audience to kind of learn and hear about you, right? So let's start it off with you know, tell us a little bit about your background, right? Like, where do you come from?
Thanks for the intro. I gotta say though that it's 6:40 a.m. where I'm in. So if I sound like I just woke up, it's because I did. And I just came from like a bad fever. So yeah, but basically for me, I come from an architecture background. This was probably 3 years ago when I started working outside of uni, and a lot of stuff happened that led me into trying out art in this space. But basically, I started out with my first digital piece around February of this year. So relatively early for me compared to Lyco's 200K in sales. I'm still in that 2K check mark.
Yeah, that took me like 20 years to get to, though. You know, just FYI.
I'm gonna flip you in 3 months maybe.
Shit, I hope you do. I hope you do. And along the way, you know, make my pieces more valuable, bro. By all means, let's get it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, what did I say? Come from architecture. I'm from the Philippines, which is an island in Asia where art and architecture isn't really something we normally look at as a culture in terms of fine art. I would say it's probably still developing for that kind of audience, just because it's a third world country, and so normally in that sense, people from here would have much more, I guess, important to be considering in life.
Is he rugging or is it us?
Yeah,
no, I think
that was
it might
me.
be
That was
him.
me.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're good. You're good.
So
So you come from
where
the
did I?
Philippines.
Yeah.
You're talking about you come from the Philippines. Art and architecture are really, you know, looked upon as something to do there. That's kind of where you're at.
Yeah. So like, it isn't really as it's sort of like a growing thing here where I'm from, the fine art thing. So I've been very
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I think I
If
should
any
be
of you
good now.
guys are in the alley, go ahead and let us know if you guys can still hear Soulcat or if he's just struggling for us up here on the stage.
No, I think he's good now. But all right, let's just steer this real
Hey,
quick.
hey,
So
can you guys hear me now?
yeah, you're good. You're good.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
So
So let's talk about a little bit. What I want to know is kind of like your influences, right? Not like forget about the art. Um, think
sure.
about you, right? Growing up, what kind of things like caught your eye and attention, right? Like what maneuvered you to kind of become the person you are now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. So for me, I think I've always had this passion for analog stuff, for vintage things, right? So I've always had that connection with my parents, especially like they'd be surprised of the things I'm into just cuz I would bring up some really old music and show them and just like vibe the things that they liked as kids. And so it was I think it was that thing that appreciation for the vintage, for the old school, that kind of shaped what I'm into right now and what I make in terms of art. Did
Okay.
I rug or did you guys hear
No,
that?
you're good. Yeah, definitely heard
All
that.
right.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
something that I can definitely see alongside your work. Like, I think we had this conversation, right, privately when I was just like appreciating all the little details that you do, like these stains,
Sure.
right, on your pieces and like the
Yeah.
subtle rips and like the little textures. Because although to the viewer, it might seem like aesthetic and it's cool, but they don't really know like how much uh, mindfulness goes into when you're actually creating these and like getting the right stain right on the right spot, like all these things that
Yep.
are very intricate. But to the normal viewer, they don't really know that, understand that. But as me, from a
Uh-huh.
creative to creative, I look at these things, I'm just like, damn, bro, this guy must have took like 2 hours just trying to decide whether or not this fucking stain is big enough.
Dude, that's funny because that's exactly what happens when I work. So I have like maybe 20 different locations for the same stain and what kind of color the stain's gonna be, just so I know I'm happy with what it looks like.
Dope, dope. So you come from, you said you had a pretty good relationship with your parents. They
Yeah.
influenced you kind of like into the vintage nostalgia, a vibe that you come to love. And so how
Yep.
did you get into art in general? Like, do you remember the first time you actually picked up a pencil or a pen or something, doodles here and there, or even like
No,
somebody that you looked
I
up
actually
to?
like I've
Hmm.
been drawing since I was a kid, so I'm not sure I remember the first time I held a pencil. uh,
God.
I come from a relatively creative family, so all of us have a passion for just making dope stuff. Uh,
Eh,
my mom even had like some old sketches from back when she was a kid, and so does my dad. So that's just something ingrained in me as a child, but never really, I guess, never really considered that I could do something with it. And as far as a career
yeah,
move,
yeah. So
oh,
for the most
can I
part,
just say though, like
yeah, go for it.
for that stain thing you were mentioning earlier, uh, it's not just the, I guess, not the where to decide where I put my stains and where the imperfections go. It's just more like I have this appreciation for this Japanese idea called kintsugi. I'm not sure if I butchered the pronunciation, but it's kind of like this idea where Japanese art they would like take broken vases and jars and use gold to repair it. So once it's fixed, it kind of looks sort of better than what it did originally because it has those cracks in gold.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's that beauty for, I mean, it's that appreciation for imperfections that make me what I am, I guess. I just really like broken
Hmm.
looking stuff.
That's dope, man. I mean, that's generally dope. I think as people, we all gravitate towards a certain aesthetic or even like little things that we like and enjoy, right? So to be able to pull from these things and kind of create something new with things that we're creating, it's a very special gift, right? Because we're able to kind of create a whole new vibe and energy for the world. So I really love that, bro. That you're able to pull from various sources, you know, and you're conscious of this, um, which a lot of people do intuitively.
Try
You
my
might do
best,
it
yeah.
as well, but the fact that you're kind of like noticing what's influenced you, I think is a good thing because it means that you can strengthen that even more, right? You're more aware of how you can develop your style, how you can develop as a person. So yeah, man, it's pretty cool to hear. So for the most part, your parents are super creative. You're, I guess, born with this like creative environment that kind of, if not guided you, it didn't suppress you either, right? So it sounds like you had like this freeness to kind of just be yourself. Is that correct?
Right, yeah, for sure.
All right, that's cool.
So
I.
for like my
Mhm.
my family, we've always been encouraged to go for what we love, and so I think that helped me early on to just keep drawing, keep making art, and it helped. It helped when they finally agreed to let me go to architecture school, and so that just helped me with the art even more. So yeah,
That's beautiful, man. Because we got to keep in mind that every person kind of has their own path, and some people aren't. They don't have this opportunity to just be themselves, or some people get a lot of backlash from trying to do art, right? So the fact that we're able to kind of appreciate that we don't have these things holding us back, like yeah, we might not have the same resource as another person to the left of us, but at the same time, we might not have it as bad as a person to the right of us, right? So I think that's something to always keep in mind as a creative, like your background, where you come from, is specifically yours, and you need to make do with what you got, whatever that looks like. So yeah, just kind of wanted to give that for the people real quick listening in.
Yeah.
So
So I do want to ask real quick, Soulcat, how did you end up getting into Solana NFTs or just Web3 in general, NFTs in general?
wait, can I check? Can I just ask
What's
who's
up?
running the ODK Twitter?
Yeah, this is Ice Dragon Slayer. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Ice Dragon Slayer is behind the Window Kids account right now.
All
We
right.
do
Yeah.
sometimes trade back and forth, but right now it's me.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cause I almost thought like Kai would be handling it, and then when you just spoke up and Kai wasn't, that was weird.
so just quick
No
Anyway,
worries, bro.
FYI,
go back.
Kai and Ice are like one person, so that it's they're all over the place, bro.
Oh, and my two accounts too. They're all just Ice Dragon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and come out as I'm actually Lyco.
Hey,
This
double
is the Lyco
banger.
burner. So I'm
Yeah,
just talking to myself.
and I'm from the
Uh.
future.
Oh shit.
Somehow I saw that one coming.
It's getting better. The lore.
Oh, exactly. Damn. Damn. This is
Anyway, yeah.
wild.
What were you asking?
All right,
Sorry.
wait. All right. So before we get into that
Yeah.
question, real quick, all right, let's jump into that as with the why the name Soulcat, and then you can kind of tell us how you got into the journey of actually being on Solana and Web3.
All right. Sure. So that's actually, I guess the whole NFT thing happened first, and then uh, that's how I formulated my name around it, because I think it was about August of last year when I first tried like this whole NFT gaming thing, where I'd be so proud if I made like $20 a day just because I can order a Starbucks or something. And yeah, it's been. I mean, I'm sure you guys have different like outlooks on what a huge bag looks, but at
Hey
the peak
man,
at the
one
peak of
thing, a bag
yeah,
is a bag. No matter how big, no
yeah,
matter how
exactly.
small, a win is a fucking win. And you know that's how I see it. That's how everybody should see
Right,
it.
right.
But unfortunately, that's not how everybody sees it. But yeah, continue.
Dude, Lopez keeps telling me he's poor, but proceeds to spend like 300 Sol in 1 week. So I don't know, but anyway, I
That's
guess yeah,
because my
around that.
guy is just an addict. He's just scrounging up all these nickels and
Yeah,
dimes from his home. He's like, bro, by all means necessary, I need this fucking art. That's
yeah,
just it.
that's the energy we have from Lopez. So I'm excited to hear from you later on. But yeah, I was basically making bag after bag. I mean, small bag after bag. Maybe uh, a purse. But then yeah, it was like super easy to make money in the bull run, and so I just loved, and I guess I got addicted in some way. And it was not like till December or November maybe. Yeah, around this time last year, I was introduced to Solana, and I already had this kind of cat moniker thing going on, and so I just I guess when I started enjoying my soul journey, I just added it on just as a tribute, just because the community here is insane, and so it felt like I was part of something. So that's how the Soul Cat name started. But I wasn't necessarily like making characters out of it. It was just a name at the time. So yeah, I was a flipper before anything else.
A true Degen style. Yeah, I remember
For
us
sure.
talking, and you kind of got into the space with, being the artist for Ghostface, correct?
Yeah, yeah. You want to hear about that?
Yeah, give us a quick little synopsis, bro, like the rundown from like,
Yeah.
a
So
quick
so
five
like
minute.
so remember I said like August was when I started. Uh, I bought an iPad Pro around December with some of the wins, and I just started messing around with Procreate, the art app on iPad, maybe around February. Yeah, and then so uh started making like fan art for a few projects just so I can get whitelisted to continue that the degen thing. And yeah, it was very fun seeing like how people appreciated my art, especially with the community being as strong as it was back then. Uh, People had a very keen sense of community, and so when they saw my art for a few projects, they'd be like, "Oh wow, this is good. You should keep making more." And so I did, and ended up with a few commissions for sorry, for like derivatives for champions and a few Boogles, which was fun. And so afterwards, one of my friends introduced me to the Ghostface guys, and they just basically got me on board to do the Gen 2 collection, which I did for like 2.5 months. And then that ended at around June, and I had to take a small break for like, not really a small break, 2 months, I think. Yeah, so 2 months, kind of laid low, but in the background, I was working on, I mean, at least starting to work on a new collection, which is the Answer and the T, which hasn't launched yet, but I mean, considering the market. But yeah, I started basically with generative collections, and so I ended up trying out the one-on-one space just this October, and we just ended up where we're at now. From there, and now I'm in the spaces with you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And one thing that I'm seeing, kind of like following your route with your art in general, is the development, right? So you know,
Yeah, for sure.
your art from the time that you did Ghostface and stuff up until now, to me, honestly, it looks like an artist who developed like over year time. And I think,
Thank
correct me
you,
if
thank
I'm
you.
wrong, it was the extensive having to draw every single day, right? When you're doing this collection, that kind of, I think, influenced you and helped you develop a lot faster than you would normally be developing, right? Is that correct?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could say that. Just cause uh, the productivity part of it, I got better at it, I guess. And what I learned about that, I mean, what I learned the most, I guess, was how to create things that the community likes, the soul
Yeah.
community likes. So I kind of got a grasp on what was considered cool, or I guess not necessarily cool, but yeah, like just stuff Solana people love. And so this is what kind of drove me to eventually create the character in SoulCat.
Gotcha. And I think, Kai, you have a question, bro? Go for it.
No, I just want to hop in and say that the auction just went live, and just
All right,
like
I forgot about that.
yeah, we're just
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah, we'll get into that eventually. You know, the auctions for 24 hours. We got time. Uh, but yeah, man, that's really cool to hear, because it sounds to me that because of the opportunity that you were able to kind of create for yourself, coming into this space, being an artist for Ghostface, kind of like doing some research of the market, like what people like on Solana, you were able to kind of build a following of people that actually knew your name, right? And so when you came into this space, I remember when I found you, it was just like through your PFP, and I thought it was so interesting. And I do give credit to myself to being able to find art that I think, you know, really has something special. So as soon as I gravitate towards it, I mean, you saw how fast I jumped on you, bro. I was like, yo, like, how can I get one? I need one custom. I need it now. Like,
Yeah,
so
right.
yeah, you want to kind of give us a little bit of a rundown of that story, a little bit, so people can kind of understand our relationship a little bit more.
Sure, yeah. So my PFP, just as a background, uh, as I mentioned, I took a break, and when I went back and saw that the community was still up and just bustling, and some of my friends were waiting for me to like, hey, when will SoulCat do some art next? And so I guess it just happened at a good time for me that I took all the experience I've had so far and just made a character out of it, just so I can have this. The idea was to make a forever like PFP. Didn't necessarily create it with the goal of starting the one-on-one career. But yeah, when I made that, I got a few eyes on it. Um, People commented on how much they liked how it looks, and how it looks like it's uh, going out of the circle, kind of. And so I just knew I had created something that was unique but also relatable at the same time. And that was when you messaged me about it, uh, which was cool because I didn't necessarily think of doing these PFPs as customs. I was generally headed towards the direction of auctioning them off just as a mini series. But when you asked for a custom, yeah, I just said, hey, let's go for it, because I would love to have a fellow artist rock it as a PFP. So that's how it started.
And just so
And
people
now
know,
our
I
PFPs
had
look good
no
together on
clue.
screen.
Oh, hell yeah, of course they do. just so people know, I had no clue who the fuck Soulcat was. Just like you
Yeah.
guys, I didn't know if it was a guy or a girl. And I literally
Damn.
just gravitated towards the art, and I was like, yo, I need this now. And I remember even pricing it out, right? Like he was just so fresh starting off, he had no clue what to price it. And so I told him, like,
Yeah,
bro, let's do 25 soul, let's do it. I got you. Like, I need this shit to be like, representing me a bit, but I did give you a lot of creative freedom, but I did give you a lot of reference, right? And for me, it was kind of like, I don't want to necessarily say a test, but it was kind of like confirmation to me. If you can kind of like take this information, uh, understand me a bit, feel my energy, and if you were able to translate it onto your art and have it still be your art, but honestly giving like my energy through it, right? Which I think you fucking killed it.
for sure.
It's my PFP
Hey,
right now. I get compliments all the time, and we've kind of seen this development of people of asking for a 1-on-1 nines live PFP, which is kind of dope to see because this is very very fresh. I've known SoCat for like 3 weeks, give or take, and I'm just proud of you, bro. I'm really proud of everything that you've been able to do up until now, and the kind of like this go attitude that you have. You're not just like, yeah, let's do everything, but you're kind of like considering, you're like, yeah, like that makes sense, like, okay, cool, let me, give me the night to think on it and I'll get back to you. And you do, so I really appreciate that you're open to kind of these opportunities that are coming towards you, and you're more than willing to hop on VC and talk. You're willing to take your time and actually understand your collector, which is one thing that I feel like
yeah, for
a
sure.
lot of people can kind of like understand and should learn to do. Right? It's not just about, I'm gonna do this art and I'm gonna sell it. Like really get to understand who you're selling to. Right? That's just as important.
Yeah, I think that part of me like comes from my background in architecture, just because early on we were basically being taught to uh, understand our clients, because the way architecture works is you're not necessarily making something for yourself and to express yourself, but you're making something that people will experience as a structure, as a home. And so we needed to feed off of the energy that our clients would emanate, just so we know that the design of what we were doing would represent themselves and they would be comfortable and feel at home whenever they step into a building or into their house. And so I guess I kind of translated that energy into how I do my art when I make customs, even before Nine Lives. So as I mentioned, like I got a few commissions early on, probably like March, April, and I'm not sure if it's something that other artists do, but I made sure to basically ask the client to tell me about themselves, not just like, hey, look, I have a Boogle. Can you draw it in your style? So it didn't work like that for me. I had to ask them like, hey, can you tell me about yourself outside of NFTs, outside of crypto? Like, what were you into? Like, some of them were like into traveling, into like uh airplanes or something. But yeah, I just needed to get to know their vibe, what they were into, and like what was special to them, just so I can really connect the piece uh, with themselves. And so I tried to take that same energy and uh, apply it to this current PFP collection.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. It's like hearing your story, seeing kind of where you're headed, it just inspires me even more, man. And it's something that I really appreciate from being in this space right now and getting to kind of get to know various artists, right? Because in real life, yeah, I have artist friends,
For
but
sure.
it's
Oh,
not
hey,
like this. Hmm.
can I just say I see Streetwalker in the listeners. What's up, man?
Hey, shout out Streetwalker, man. Art is incredible. Would love to one day get you up here as well, man. And he's fairly new to the Web3 space, so for those who haven't checked his art out, I highly suggest you do because this guy is a fucking menace. He has more stuff on
Let's
his
go.
IG, and yeah, man, it's been a pleasure to get to know him as well. So let's give a quick hearts for my man Streetwalker over here, Fiasco. Here you go. This is for you, bro. Sending some love. Hey. All right. So
Anyway, yeah.
that being said, Soulcat, do you plan going forward? Because I know me and you have had this conversation, right? Of expanding or just kind of
Yeah.
having other things in mind as well as you're doing this whole Web3 thing. Is Soulcat going to be your name indefinite, or are you planning to kind of evolve with that as well and changing it over time?
Yeah, no, so I had this idea like, cause way back in April, I was already making sketches of cat related PFPs, just so I can test out like what would I do as if I ever became a one-on-one artist. And so I created this series that I never really launched and called it Soul Cats, SOUL. And so that was kind of a name that I was starting to think about. And as far as if I ever needed to do a rebrand, and so uh, I guess if I ever had to, I would probably go along that line of thinking, just because it still calls back to the Soul SOL tribute. But I don't intend on changing that name in the near future for now, just because I want to stand in solidarity to the blockchain having its difficult moments right now. So yeah, I just wanted to
That's
stay
dope. Kind of like
to
a
stay
tribute,
like
right?
yeah, for sure, because this is where I came from. And
Oh,
so,
I
but
love
yeah, if I
that.
ever needed like whatever, do physicals, do some IRL stuff, and didn't want to connect myself necessarily or tie myself to the blockchain, it would probably around like that kind of like the SOUL thing. But for now, not really, not thinking about it.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, that makes sense, bro. And I love that you kind of like bringing this moment wherever you go, no matter how high you go, right? You have this thing which commemorates where you started, and you're implementing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a really cool
Yeah,
way to kind of
cause
keep
I
you
said
humbled.
I
Mhm.
started as a community member, not necessarily as an artist, and so I try my best to stay in the like grounded into where I came from, even though I'm still not like I'm not like huge or anything, but yeah, I just wanted to stay grounded to the community where I came from.
That's awesome, man. Um, So yeah, that being said, I have a question for you, and this is something that I also asked Trip when I sent out the question, and it's so why did you accept this collaboration with One Dope Kids, right? And if you can kind of give us your take of what One Dope Kids is to you, and what you have seen
Sure.
it to kind of do and be for the community.
Yeah, for sure. So I took on the collab because I intend on taking the project from you someday. And so it's gonna be One Dope Cats very soon.
Let's
Oh,
go.
let's fucking go,
One dope cat.
man.
You heard it here first, folks.
My
Nah,
guy's
kidding.
already taking my reins, man. Taking my
Yeah, for sure.
empire. Yo, damn. I did not see that coming, fam, to be honest.
Plot twist.
Holy
Let's
shit.
go. But yeah, no, kidding. Only reason I ever considered was because of that the multiple conversations we had. Like, you've obviously taught me a lot about what I do. I mean, or what I'm trying to do, and I guess the mentorship and the guidance is what led me to say like, hey, I wanna build dope stuff just like this guy. And so One Dope Kids to me is this family I'm currently having the pleasure of being a part of, especially with you on the reins, having learned so much in such a short time, and with all the support I've had from Kai and from everyone else. It's just super exciting to be a part of this, really. And so yeah, when you mentioned like what your plans were and what you wanted to do, I just thought, hey, this is someone who's trying to do cool stuff for the one-on-one space, which we really need right now, especially in the market being as it is. And so I just really dig that. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me.
Damn,
Props,
bro.
you guys.
Hey, that's love. And just so you guys know, I don't have a gun to this man's head or anything like that. This is all him. This is not prep, yo. This is straight coming
Yeah,
from
we
the
we, we
heart.
were we were actually practicing what I was gonna say, just so
Damn it, Cat.
Nah,
Stick
I'm
to the
kidding.
script. Stick to the script.
My God, shit, just fucking all out there, huh? All right,
But yeah,
let's
no,
shake that
yeah,
off.
this is all from me. You heard it here first. Yeah, I
Oh
really
man,
like what ODK is doing, so you guys should really check him out if you haven't. Like the project, really
and you know
cool.
what's that's dope, bro. That's honestly the best compliment that we can get. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
like
From
even outside of the art thing, the art utility you have,
mhm.
just being a part of a community right now in this market, that's like super supportive of artists like me. It's such an honor, dude. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, a round of applause, real quick, everybody. Just it's a clap the hands for my guy Soulcat. Very genuine dude. I told y'all as soon as I met the guy, the energy was there. I already knew instant, and I'm just so fucking proud of this dude, and I'm very excited for everything that we have coming because this is only just the beginning. So yeah, man, just super stoked to be able to be part of your journey more than anything because I know how important it is to have these kind of like I don't like to use the word supporters, but it's like more so like these people who just fuck with what you do. It's like I wish I had more of that earlier on with my career, right? Where I had to literally just like do this shit on my own, bro, and like I had to go through all these crazy fucking
Where's that
hurdles just to
me?
make it. But yeah, man. So let's talk about a little bit about the piece, right? You have this collaboration with One Dope Kids, and what you did with the art is really fucking cool. You took our template, our master file, and you're like, fuck this, I don't want to use this. I'm gonna go ahead and create my own thing. And I was like, cool, no worries, bro. Do whatever you want. And you created the Critter O's. So let's talk about it a little bit, like
did I get you nervous when I said I wasn't gonna use it at all?
hell no. Like, I mean, I didn't think that, somebody was actually like, yo, can I just not use this and like just still implement it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I didn't think about it. So when you told me that, I was like,
for sure.
I mean, fuck it, why not? Like, do you, bro? But yeah, incredible
Uh-huh.
piece, man. Let's talk about it a little bit. It's like, what was your thought process when you were creating this? What were you thinking about?
Yeah, so the piece was actually like, cause if you guys know, I had my first like exchange auction a few days ago. Shout out to Lopez for winning that one.
Hey, shout
And
out,
so
bro.
I worked on that piece probably like the weekend prior to this. And so knowing how deep and heavy that piece was for me, I kind of wanted to do the collab piece as light as I can get it, but still super dope. and something I fuck with. And so, uh, yeah, I just wanted to have fun on a piece, not necessarily like make something with a really deep message like I usually do. I just wanted something that people will look at like, hey, this is kind of cool. And like you said, nobody really expected me to like. I guess that part of me was just wanting to be playful and how to mend the rules, kind of, because you didn't have those rules. And so when I found
Hey,
out like how do you make something cool out of, I mean, for sure your character, your base character is already a cool critter, but yeah, I just wanted to do something that was new. Well, I don't know if it's like it's technically old because of how it looks, but uh,
yeah, man, it's
yeah,
honestly very, and you described it perfectly, right? Like right away when I saw it, I was like, damn. I kind of saw where your mind was at, right? It was like this playful energy, like
for
you
sure,
weren't
yeah,
really pulling, you were more so releasing, right? And so I
yeah,
see that
exactly,
with the
exactly.
colors, I see that with like the caricature. I even see that by, implementing this limited edition Soulcat toy, seat back panel. That's
Yeah,
so fucking cool, man. So this is honestly
dude,
a very, very
that's like a day
special
of
thing.
research,
Yeah.
just a day of research on references and like what can I do, what can I make. Uh, yeah, it was fun. I just really had a blast doing it.
Yeah, man. And I'm very conflicted, right? Because I want to fucking buy this, but it's like, we're supposed to be raising money for the development of ODK, not spending it, dude. And I'm over here like, holy shit, like this is such a big piece
Let's
of
go.
history. Like I want it, bro. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
honestly, this is a very monumental moment. Like this piece is gonna be looked back in time, like, holy shit, like that was the Soul Cat ODK first collab ever, bro. Like, think about that, dude. Like, I don't know. I'm a big time collector, so for me, it's like these pockets of time and history that we're able to acquire, right? So having this be the second collab ever, and being able to do it with you, bro, it's honestly very, very, very fucking cool, and I'm more than honored, right,
hey, for
for
sure.
you to accept that. But yeah, let's
Yep,
talk.
yep.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into it, right? Because I'm over here. I'm seeing the Critter
Right.
O's, and then the
Yeah,
all
right.
natural flavor from Montana spray cans. Like, must taste
Dude,
nasty as fuck, but I fuck with it though.
for
It's
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
awesome, man.
let me like talk about it a little bit. So the piece essentially was created kind of as a I'm not sure if you're gonna take this well, but I kind of wanted to troll
Throw it on me,
almost.
bro. Throw it on me.
I almost wanted to troll in some sense, just cause of I know like the character Soulcat would just be an idiot and do some random shit, and so like what would he do? And so hey, fuck it, let's make a cereal box, man. And then uh yeah, just
I
if you
love it.
remember, like that was like a last minute detail I wanted to add when I asked
Yeah,
you uh what your favorite paint was. And so when you
yeah.
tell you told me you loved like the Montana spray paint, I was like, hey, that's a perfect flavor,
Yeah.
dude.
It's just, but you know
Let's
what
do
that
it.
reminds me of? That reminds me of like those nasty ass Harry Potter jelly beans that you can try,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
like either you're gonna try some nasty stuff or something tasty. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this is what Critter O's tastes like. It's like part sweet, part nice, and then like the aftertaste
For
is
sure,
just
yeah.
straight up fucking spray can.
Paint.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so anyway, when I was working on it, like a few more stuff I was thinking about was like, hey, how could I uh incorporate your branding and mine just to make something cool, right? So the Crittero's name was dope, but what I really like was the shape of the cereal being the lightning bolts, just because of who you are. And so yeah, you mentioned the lightning bolts like represented the energy you wanted to give off. And so I knew that was an important part of the One Dope Kids and Andrew Lyko lore. And so I just really loved that idea and ran with it. The
Yeah.
spray can thing though was an afterthought. And yeah, and then the toy thing was just something I really wanted to do after doing my research. Like a bunch of old cereal boxes would have free offerings or maybe raffles for awards or prizes and toys. And so I
Yeah,
just wanted,
yeah.
hey, would it be cool if I put down a Soul Cat toy as part of the packaging, and just as a maybe just as a way of manifesting of maybe one day
Yes, bro.
it could actually exist. Like a Soul Cat toy would be so
Exactly.
good.
I
Not
was
just
actually
that, but
talking. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
go for
like
it, Kai. No, you're
I
good,
was
you're
just
good.
gonna say, like, I was chatting with like some resin artists, and I was like, "Do you think that it is possible to make something like this in the future, even if it's just like a very like limited sculpture?" And they're like, "I mean, it's always possible." So I mean, like,
Oh, you guys are talking about Soulcat's figure. Oh, I'm over here
yeah, the
talking
little
about
limited edition
making.
toy.
Oh no, fuck that. I want to make the cereal, bro. Critter O's all the way.
Oh,
Dude, what do you mean? Fuck that.
I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. We can include it, I guess.
Oh man,
Uh,
I'm gonna go now.
But no, I do want to touch. This is really such a nice piece. Like it does encapture ODK because, like, if you think about the toy and like the vintage vibes, like I mean, that's the nostalgia right there, right? And that's also a big
Exactly.
part of ODK. So props on
Yep,
that.
yep.
and
Because
then
like
this is.
looking at
Mhm.
old references, you would always see that iconic cartoon character as part of the cereal box mascot, if that makes sense. And a bunch of them would have like Powerpuff Girls and like whatever old cartoons
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
was
I definitely
famous at the
remember.
time. And so the ODK vibes really like I really wanted to pull from that idea that your exchange art collection and your discombobulated pieces and all your art. I just really wanted to connect that and basically make something that as you said you wouldn't want to sell just to mess with your brains.
And that you did well, my friend. And this is a perfect example, by the way, for any artists, creators listening in right now, where okay, yeah, this is a very serious thing, right? This collaboration, it's we had plenty of artists to kind of choose from and like pick for these five auctions, and the fact that Soulcat was able to participate, this is a very serious thing. But his approach was very playful and troll and like joyful and just like releasing. And he didn't think about it too much, right? He kind of just created. And so if you're kind of like struggling with the project, or you're like getting worried and nervous about something, like, oh, maybe you're a little bit insecure, like literally just fucking chill, take a breath, and don't think about it too much, right? Sometimes our best work comes out of just natural expression of releasing. So don't stress too much, don't overthink it. Sometimes just create to create, and some magic like this might happen. So just a little word of advice for or any artist listening in right now.
For sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally
Well,
agree with that.
because yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Oh, well, I was just saying, I totally agree with that. I've totally found also, when I'm writing my poetry, meditating or, laying down, closing my eyes and just letting my thoughts go is a really good way to just like kind of like letting things come to me instead of trying to push for it. So that's also another method that I find really helps.
Sure, yeah. So I do a lot of not necessarily meditation, but with my art, I don't know if you guys like noticed, but the way I do my reveals, I would often add on a sort of music to go with it, just so you guys know what kind of state of mind I was in when I was working on the piece. And so that's kind of how I work. I usually just put on my AirPods and listen to a couple songs for a few minutes, close my eyes, and just like think to myself, what is my soul trying to say? But then again, for this particular piece, it was just like the opposite almost. Just because it was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I put a toy? Wouldn't it be cool if I put spray cans as a playmat? So it was more or less. I mean, it was less of a meditation this time, but more on like I just let SoulCat, the idiot, go wild, I guess.
And this is what's cool about this too, right? Like, this is one thing that we're really, aiming to do with ODK. It's like how can we take collecting to the next level and make it fun and make it just, not just for Web3 people, but in real life as well, and vice versa. And to me, I'm already seeing like this piece. It's like, what if we drop like an actual physical Critter O's, right, as just the packaging, where the toy of SoulCat might or might not be in it, right? It's like doing things like that make it fun to collect, right? It's really what we're aiming to do. And the fact that we have this fucking arsenal of artists in ODK already, yeah, that are coming willingly, because I say it time and time again. I don't like contracts. I myself, as an artist, it's like I've been blessed enough and fortunate enough to work with an art dealer who doesn't want me or doesn't have me locked down with any type of contracts, right? The deals are always forming in different ways depending on like kind of situation that we're in, and the type of work that I feel like creating at the time. So this is something that we're really focusing on bringing with Wondo Kids. Is like, how do we make this work for both sides, right? For us and for the artists and for collectors, where it makes sense and everybody's kind of taking a win without feeling like they're being taken advantage for. Because at the end of the day, everybody needs both sides to continue pushing the space forward, right? And so this is something that we
For
don't
sure.
take lightly, and we want to make sure that everybody who comes in has, in some sense, the same opportunities, right? And so we're trying to find a way to be accessible to a majority of artists and creatives that want to do something beautiful with their lives by doing this full time and kind of like just seeing what that feels like.